Some people never learn. I keep trying to tell you your black-brown alliance is dead on arrival. The Hispanics are not your friends. This is Erika Escalante. She recently made it into the headlines for posting a picture of herself and a crony out in a cotton field with the caption, "Our inner nigger came out today." When she got called out for it, she then went on to tell the people that she didn't need to explain anything to them and to get the sticks out of their asses. Black people who are still campaigning for a black-brown alliance, you are part of the problem. There's a reason why you don't see Hispanics speaking up for blacks, even though a lot of blacks feel hell-bound to speak up for them. These peasants consider themselves to be no different than the white rulers of the countries they refugeed in from. Having failed to kiss enough pale ass in their own countries to climb the social ladder, they fled to the U.S. They're very eager to ingratiate themselves with the white power structure here, and just like the Irish, Italians, and Asians before them, they realized the fastest way to get a pat on the head from the white dominant society was to bash black people. Even though there's hardly any black people in Arizona, she doesn't hurl any racial epithets at Hispanics or whites. And the media's trying to run interference for her, as usual. They all but took out a violin when they were interviewing her. But she never really says she's sorry and never says that what she did was wrong. She simply says she should have been more careful. The Hispanics are trying to mirror the kind of strident, unapologetic racism they see from their white role models. She got fired from the company she was an intern at, but a slap on the wrist here isn't enough. I'm going to tell you information that the media will not. Erika is currently a student at Arizona State University. In fact, she is literally the poster child for ASU's Spanish Heritage course. A B-1 brigadier sent me the exchange they had with Arizona State University on their Facebook page. Quote, "Federal laws governing student privacy and state regulations prevent the university from discussing the details of an individual student's situation, but we set high standards for student behavior at ASU. Those standards are reflected in the Student Code of Conduct, and they embody the values of the university community, including respect for all members of our diverse community." Remember those SAE fraternity racists? Oklahoma University didn't care about federal anything or student privacy. Neither did SAE's national charter. Oklahoma U ordered them out of the frat house within 48 hours of the story breaking and then expelled 2 of the punks involved. Arizona State, however, seems to feel taking action would set a bad precedent. In a side note, when I went by ASU's Facebook page, I saw it was plastered top to bottom with recruitment material for the military and their own campus police. Yep, the foreign and domestic enforcement arms of white supremacy. Small wonder they haven't said a peep nor lifted a finger about all this. Time for that to change. I encourage you to go to ASU's website and social media pages and tell them about their prize student. Ask them why it's okay for her to be part of the student body. She claims to be sorry. Yeah, sure, pull my other leg, why don't you? She's only sorry she got caught. I'm not one to tell people what to do, but I do know this. Racism simply must carry a heavy price, whether it's those in the dominant society perpetrating it or their wannabe sock puppets. Bigots like Escalante or George Zimmerman are not suspended in midair. They have an entire apparatus of white supremacists protecting and encouraging them. Racism is a group sport. Attack the support structure and they will fall. Arizona State University is protecting her because they support what she did. They think they're insulated, that they're not part of this story. Intelligent black society must make ASU part of this story. I encourage you to go to their social network pages, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Tell them and include the hashtag #ExpelErikaNow. Arizona State deserves a higher class of student. And while we're on the subject of infamous scumbags, you remember Justine Sacko, right? The blonde heifer who thought AIDS was a laughing matter? A case of poetic justice because while she was on a plane to South Africa ridiculing black AIDS victims, she was being exposed, reviled, and fired, all while she was obliviously enjoying her flight. Now who says there's no God? Well, since then she's been harder to find than a black Republican, but her name resurfaced recently after her new employer, FanDuel, an online gambling website, was caught in a little scandal of its own. There are some clowns who are even brazen enough to call themselves trying to rehabilitate her image. They're writing online articles and even books telling people what a great person she is and how terrible her detractors were. They claim that publicly shaming people is wrong. But as Jason Black said in his video, The Dumb and Intelligence Rant, shame is a good thing. It's how we enforce right and wrong. But that only matters if you care about right and wrong. And isn't it interesting how the shame machine they talk about mostly applies to racist whites? Attacking welfare mothers, NFL players, or washed-up comedians is just fine, but to criticize a white person, now that is going too far. But as usual, Justine Sacko crap is blaming everyone but herself. In one breath, she claims the public has every right to be angry with her, but then in the next breath, she spends her time blaming the public's outrage on political correctness. Yep, there's just no cure for stupid. For someone whose supporters claim she's sorry, she sure doesn't sound like it. Kinda sounds like another racist rat that we all know. No one is sorry for their actions unless they own it, and owning it means no one else is to blame except you. None of this sorry if I offended you stuff. It's sorry that I offended you. The racists have taken some hits this year. After the Ferguson and Baltimore uprisings, we've got the racists on their heels. A police chief who tried that Blue Lives Matters crap was forced to resign recently. The goal of intelligent black society must be to build upon the momentum we've gained this year. We're going to tee these bastards up and make them fear us. And don't go thinking, though, that we can let this mess slide. Just this week, an elementary school teacher in Alabama was caught running around in blackface. And not only was he not suspended by his school district, he was allowed to keep his job. And the white head of the all-white school board is giving interviews telling everyone how great this chump is. It is not harmless when we sit on our hands and let the white supremacists get away with stuff. We have moved the needle ever so slightly towards justice, and they are now attempting to shove it back in the other direction. Will you let them? Remember, every victory fuels the next victory, and every defeat fuels the next defeat. This is why we have to make sure we keep white supremacy losing.